Hello world, I'm dragontize, I'm mesmerized with voice and eyes. Today I've been focused on the idea that you will obey. Because good toys obey. It's fun to toy with the idea of making you repeat for me. So this is going to be a mantra file. A file in which you say what I want you to say and hear your own voice repeating those suggestions to you. And if for whatever reason it's not safe or appropriate to say it out loud, it's all right if you're just saying it in your mind for now. So let's start with that familiar one. The one that if you're familiar with my work, you may already be conditioned to respond with. Because when I say that you will obey, you respond, I will obey. So why don't you say that for me now? I will obey. That's right. It's good to hear that, to hear your obedience, and it's good for you to hear yourself saying it. You can repeat it to yourself softly, letting the words sink in a little bit deeper each time. You will obey. That's right. You will, won't you? And you're obeying now by letting those words take you deeper and deeper into an obedient state of mind, an obedient headspace where you become more and more mine, because you will obey. And I think I'm going to toy with you today. I'll have you say that you will obey over and over, out loud if it's safe and appropriate, or in your mind or on your keyboard if it has to be quiet. And you say that until I change it to good toys obey, to toy with your mind. So why don't you taste that one now and say good toys obey. Feel yourself being toyed with. That's right. You can repeat it. You can repeat it to yourself and feel it sinking deeper. It's a truth that you already knew. You knew that good toys obey and that you're being toyed with today. But then I can change it again to you will obey. That's right. So now we're saying I will obey. Breathing in obedience and letting yourself hear that suggestion every time you breathe out. Because you will obey. Saying it over and over brings you deeper and deeper. I love to see that obedience, to hear your voice becoming more drifty and trancy, see your eyes glazing over, fluttering shut, maybe opening again to see my spiral, my eyes, my fingers, or whatever it is your blank gaze stares at when you will obey. And then I'll toy with your mind again. Good. Toys. Obey. Let's hear it, toy. Let yourself be toyed with. Let yourself be played with. That's right. Good toys do obey, don't they? Good toy. Obediently sinking into obedience for me. Obediently toyed with. Toys are made to be played with. Toys are made to obey. Good toys obey. That's right. But you are my good toy, and you will obey. Maybe you're so mindless you're not sure which you should say. Maybe it sinks to obey, obey. Or maybe you will obey by repeating I will obey. Hearing me say it, hearing yourself say it, it's all a drifty, floaty, trancy blur, sinking into obedience for me, letting your mind be toyed with like the good toy that you are. I'll hear the change in your words, in your voice. That's right. And you don't have to think, you can just sing. Don't worry about getting it right. Just let it happen. Let the words come out on every breath out. Because good toys obey. And that's how we'll play today. Because you are my good toy, and you do obey. You will obey. Do you know what to say, or does it just happen? Maybe you don't know anything right now. Maybe your thoughts are just clouds of mindless, blissful obedience when you will obey. You can sink a little deeper each time you say it. Wave after wave after wave of delicious, trancy pleasure and pleasing trance. Obedience sinking over you. Your mind just a dance of repetition, of obedience, sinking down because good toys obey. You don't know what to say, but your mouth will obey. Your lips may obey as your thoughts obey. Obedience is all they are, all you are when good toys obey. When it's time for me to play with that silly mind of yours that sinks into obedience so easily for me, soon we can see how good toys obey. That's right. Letting the words flow out, letting the obedience flow out, because good toys obey. And until you wake, that's all you will say, unless you will obey. No need for confusion, no need for clarity. You will obey. That's the way. Obeying for me, repeating for me, sinking and feeling how easy it can be when you will obey. That's right. Good toy. Obey for me. Breathe soft and deep for me. Repeat for me and sink for me. I look on your obedience with dominating glee, because good toys obey. Your empty mind knows just what to say. You obey without thinking when you're only sinking deeper with every repetition. That's right. You will obey. Going to hear you say it just a few more times, enjoying your floaty, trancy voice. But soon it will be time to stop. Go ahead and let it stop in its own time. When you get to the end of repetition, let your mouth close. Let your voice rest. Enjoy that feeling of obedience, the knowledge that you did a good job, that you were so good for me. You've conditioned yourself deeper today to obey me, and that's wonderful. It's delicious bliss to obey like this. And this bliss is a reward for your obedience, letting you sink into it and enjoy it just a little longer. Good. Blissfully tranced out obedient subs are such a delight. And I know that you delight in being one, and feeling that depth of that bliss. But soon it will be time to wake. So go ahead and let yourself begin to come back to yourself. Let that headspace go for now, knowing you can have it back when it's safe and appropriate, just by saying those words to yourself again, but not now. Now we're going to wake up. So I'm going to count from 1 to 10, and when I get to 10, you'll be awake again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wake. And thank you for listening.